So when the jester is dead, when the person who makes us laugh is dead, what does that therefore mean? What are we not doing anymore? Laughing. And if we can't laugh, we can't cope with tragedy. Stop me if you've heard this before, but life is suffering. And we don't get to choose not to suffer. But what we can do is choose what it is that we're going to suffer for. And one of the ways that we can deal with the constant tragedy and sufferings of life is with this coping mechanism, is laughter. The jester's job, the comedian's job, the class clown's job is to come along and tell the truth. Because they can tell the truth in a way that nobody else can. The first person who comes in and says something and it's true, and it's absolutely true, and it offends you, what do we do with that person? I just told you, we typically kill them, or we ignore them, or we write them off. So I guess that's your choice. You can come in, tell the truth in a very direct way, and offend people, and you'll be a philosopher. You'll probably be killed. Some of you, if you have that choice, you can come in, tell the truth in a way that makes people laugh. You're a comedian. You get a Netflix special, and you're a millionaire. It's a hard choice, isn't it? Be a philosopher or be a millionaire comedian with a Netflix special. It's your call. But take your job seriously, because you have a gift. If you can make people laugh, you have the ability and the talent to do that. And not only that, but you also have the ability to make people, or to help people anyway, cope with life's sufferings. And that's gold, man. You guys have that friend that when things are bad, you know you can talk to them and they're going to make you feel better? Yeah, I mean, you guys have those people that, no matter how good things are, you can talk to them and they're going to make things worse? You know, there are some people in life that they just cause joy wherever they go. There are people in life who cause joy whenever they go. Anyone can be sarcastic and angry and bitter and resentful. All you have to do to be that is just live. But to be the person who can make light of things and find things in their best possible way, because it helps us to cope and get through things, that's talent, man. And when you have those people in your life, hang on to them. And if you're that person, don't be surprised when lots of people want to hang on to you. But the more you suffer, the more you have a sense for the comic. Because if you suffered a lot, it's because you've survived a lot. And the only way you can survive a lot is if you can find some sense of the comic in it. So, what's so funny? Everything. You know how to look at it the right way. Is there a topic that's so far out there that we can't even joke about it? I don't know. Like there are a couple. Like somebody asked me at the beginning of lunch if there were subjects I wouldn't joke about, and I said there's like two. You know, there's only really two. I won't tell you what they are, because then you're going to ask me to make a joke about it, and then I'd have to, and then prove myself wrong. But there's only like maybe two subjects that I can think of. And yesterday I was listening. I was in another teacher's class. During my prep period, I go watch like other teachers teach. Sometimes if they're feeling brave, they'll ask me to say something to their class. And yesterday this teacher was looking at actually a very similar topic about whether, if there was a subject that was like so bad that you couldn't joke about it. And one student offered one thing up, and then everyone's like, oh. And they all look at the teacher like, do you have a joke for it? And the teacher's like, I have a joke for it. They refuse to say it. Can I guess what the topic is? That's my way of asking the exact same question I asked you a second ago. Is there a subject we're not supposed to laugh about? Yeah. Abortion? No, we can joke. I got abortion jokes all day. All day. What's that? I bet you do. It's a long year though, man. We gotta space these things out. In fact, as I was mentioning before, well, I won't say that. Enough screwing out. I record these things, as I said, and then if you miss a date, you can always go up and see what other periods talked about. So if you're stuck, if you're writing these, like I don't know what to say, go look at what we talked about second period. Go look at what we talked about fourth period. And I have like a section on the channel that's just called "Okay, Hear Me Out," and it's like bad takes. There's some stuff that goes up there that like I have a friend who will email me and go, pull that one. Why? It's that bad. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. And then I'll send it out to people and ask them, is it really that bad? And I have like some friends who are like, it's good. Then I know I need to take it off of there. But there's only a couple of those. There's one of them I'm still kind of like, about, because it was just a joke. It was last year. I was talking about, like if there's a school shooter. And I was talking about like how I take my role to protect you guys very seriously. But I didn't like my third period last year. They were good individuals, like people, they were good. But as a class, they just sucked. They're 10th graders, and they would just stare at me the whole time. And if I've asked them, how are you doing? They'd answer me. They're listening. They're paying attention. There's just no life there. So somebody asked me like, would you say third period? And I said, no, eventually. Like the second or third reload, yeah, probably. And then someone in third period heard about that, go, that's mean. I'm like, okay, let me upload it then. Let me put it in there. And someone was like, I don't know, man, school shooting's not funny. I don't know. I've got school shooting jokes too. So why do I have so many of these jokes? Yeah. And this was actually the word that took us in a really bad direction last period. To cope. What does it mean to cope? To comfort yourself? Yeah, because as we began with, like, what are our options? So we can suffer. We're gonna do that anyway. Or we can laugh. And there's a difference, and I think that a lot of times people probably confuse these things. The difference between laughing at something and laughing because of something. You can laugh because of something. You can make light of something because it's a way of dealing with it. I'll tell you guys the joke I told last period and see how that turns out for you. And it wasn't even my joke. I was just repeating somebody else's joke. But you've got that choice in life. You can either sit there and say, well, that's not funny, that's not funny, that's not funny. And there's just something, I don't know what it is, that about people who are always telling me, or that's not funny, you can't joke about that, you can't laugh about that. These are typically just really humorless people with no joy. And you're to ask them, well, tell me something that is funny, tell me a joke that is funny. And then they'll tell you something, and it's almost always just something political that's not really funny at all. It's just like saying something, and then there's just no humor in it. These are also typically people who are just generally angry and just, miserable, and then they look the part, if you know what I'm saying. But they don't have like a connection to other people either, because that's one of the things that humor brings. So for example, if I were to, I don't know if we talked about it here before. If I asked you guys already, like, what's the comedian's job? What's the joker's job? Make people laugh, obviously. But if there's a deeper role than just that, like if you're a class clown, are there any class clowns in here? None? Yeah, so I'll look at the same guy. They got the dark humor guy. There's got to be at least one, man. There's got to be at least one. If we go back and we read Shakespeare, all of Shakespeare's tragedies have a jester, a clown, somebody who's supposed to be there, who goes in and they're supposed to make the king laugh. That's not true. There's one tragedy that doesn't have a jester. Actually, no, that's not true. Even this one has a jester. That's York. There's a play, Hamlet. Hamlet is probably Shakespeare's darkest tragedy. And long story short, somebody has killed a king to take over the kingdom, and the jester is dead. So there is a jester, but he's dead. And some of you are somewhat tangentially familiar with it. That's the guy holding up the skull. He's looking at the skull. It's the skull of the old jester. Alas, poor York, he says. He was a fellow of infinite jest. He was a guy who was always laughing. So when the jester is dead, when the person who makes us laugh is dead, what does that therefore mean? What are we not doing anymore? Laughing. And if we can't laugh, we can't cope with tragedy. Stop me if you've heard this before, but life is suffering. And we don't get to choose not to suffer. But what we can do is choose what it is that we're going to suffer for. And one of the ways that we can deal with the constant tragedy and sufferings of life is with this coping mechanism, is laughter. The jester's job, the comedian's job, the class clown's job is to come along and tell the truth. Because they can tell the truth in a way that nobody else can. You guys know the Nah guy? A lot of classes have the Nah guy. Some of you, I hope nobody in here is the Nah guy. The Nah guy is the person who sits in the chair and slumps, doodles, and everything, and says, nah. Nah. They don't believe anything. Nah. Always like perpetually disengaged with everything. Nah. And that person sits there and is like, this is boring. Well, you're just a boring individual, man. You can't take that person seriously because they're just a boring individual. Does that mean that their opinion doesn't matter and that they're a human being and as a human being they don't matter? Yes. No, it doesn't mean that at all. But that's just a person who's probably like, if somebody walks in here and like, I don't know, does a backflip, they probably sit there going, whatever, I saw it on YouTube. They just wouldn't be entertained by anything. They wouldn't be engaged by anything. But if there's a person who's got life and is energetic and is funny, and then that person can tell you in a funny way that things are boring, then everyone can laugh and go, all right, I get it. Because that's a person, for some reason, because they can engage the people. They're telling something that's true, but they're telling it in a way that gets attention and gets positive attention. The comedian's job is to tell the truth. You walk in, if you're just in a kingdom and there's a famine because the king is, running things so badly, you show up and you tell the king, hey, your policies are killing people, fix them. You walk away. The king will say, good insight, kill them. The jester walks in there, he's got the weird outfit on, and he says, oh, good news, king. So many people have died from your policies that there's now plenty of food for the rest of us. And then the king can go, all right, everyone laughs at that. Okay, I get it, I need to do something. Because the comedian, the jester, is someone who's such a clown that they're below contempt. You don't go off on that person because they're already the comedian. They're already kind of like, you're supposed to laugh at them. You can't really go off on them. But that's their strength. They're also telling you something that's true. The first person who comes in and says something that's true, and it's absolutely true, and it offends you, what would you do with that person? And I just told you, we typically kill them, or we ignore them, or we write them off. The nah guy very well might be a philosopher, but they just don't present it in a way. And what do we do with philosophers again? Well, ask Socrates. We kill them. You kill them. I mean, think about the people who've really tried to change the world. What do? We typically kill them. More on that later. So I guess that's your choice. You can come in, tell the truth in a very direct way and offend people, and you'll be a philosopher. You'll probably be killed. I hope some of you become philosophers. It's only the third week. Some of you, if you have that choice, you can come in, tell the truth in a way that makes people laugh. You're a comedian. You get a Netflix special, and you're a millionaire. It's a hard choice, isn't it? Be a philosopher or be a millionaire comedian with a Netflix special. It's your call. It's a tough call. But take your job seriously because you have a gift. If you can make people laugh, you have the ability and the talent to do that. And not only that, but you also have the ability to make people, or to help people anyway, cope with life's sufferings. And that's gold, man. You guys have that friend that when things are bad, you can talk to them and they're going to make you feel better? Yeah, I mean, you guys have those people that, no matter how good things are, you can talk to them and they're going to make things worse. There are some people in life that they just cause joy wherever they go. And then there are people in life who who cause joy whenever they go. And that first person is gold, man. That first person is gold. And that's why we value them so much. Anyone can be sarcastic and angry and bitter and resentful. All you have to do to be that is just live. But to be the person who can make light of things and find things in their best possible way because it helps us to cope and get through things, that's talent, man. And when you have those people in your life, hang on to them. And if you're that person, don't be surprised when lots of people want to hang on to you. And then, of course, the hard part for you now is that you're going to be internalizing all that because people are going to be dumping their stuff on you all the time. And you're the person your responsibility now is to help people cope because that's your role. And if you can choose not to do it, but then you're going to be miserable if you choose not to do it. Life is suffering. Or you're going to be miserable if you choose to do it because people are going to be dumping their stuff on you all the time. And so there's your choice. Which of those two sufferings are you going to choose? To not be what you actually are, or to be what you actually are, but then to take on the pain of others. If you're the comedian, I don't envy you, man, because that's not an easy choice. It's just like if you're the wise person, same thing. People come to you for advice. People come to you all the time. They see you as wise. You may not see yourself as wise, but they see you as wise. So that's the role you've been given. So that's your choice. But the more you suffer, the more you have a sense of the comic. Because if you've suffered a lot, it's because you've survived a lot. And the only way you can survive a lot is if you can find some sense of the comic in it. I'll leave it with this, but I have a former student who, if it wasn't for bad luck, this guy would have no luck at all, man. This guy, if I ever feel, I'll message him and just say, I'll joke and say, hey, I'm feeling pretty down right now. Can you tell me about your own life so I can feel better about mine? and he will really just go, oh, so you won't believe this, and he'll send me a message. Good example, I have it on my phone. He sent me a message like 2 weeks ago. He said, man, things are finally looking up. He got a job. He's like, dude, I got a job. The job you wanted to get. He's all he's all excited about it. He messages me like 2 hours later. Well, that didn't last long. And it's a picture of his car crashed. This guy can never quite get ahead a little bit, And he has said the same thing, that if he didn't have humor, he doesn't know what he'd do with it, because that's what gets him through it. Humor gets us through, man. That's one of those reasons that I don't trust people who constantly tell you, don't laugh at that. That's not funny. Provided that you have that distinction between laughing because of something and laughing at something. Or laughing because of people rather than laughing at people. You shouldn't make fun of people. That's not nice. It can be pretty funny though. Sometimes, I don't know, man. Especially guys. If you have friends and you're not making fun of your friends, are they really your friends?
Especially if they fall.
Yeah, if they fall, even better, man. Yeah.
Especially when they're toddlers.
Yeah. They have a long way to go.
Or elders.
Yeah, small people. That's like some small people, right? They don't have very far to fall. That's why small people are so angry, though, dude. Because they're so close to hell, They're just naturally angry. And I'm thinking at my gym, everybody in my gym has nicknames. I don't know anybody's real name. And we have this guy at the gym. His name is Buckets. We call him Buckets because the guy, his first couple competitions, he threw up. He walks out there. He's on the mat. He's like, we're like, he's gonna puke. He's gonna puke. So we start taking a bucket to the competitions, and he would just come running over. And I have this picture of me walking. I'm coaching him, and then my other friends. There's two of us there, and I'm walking. And someone took the picture from the stands. You can see my face. I'm like angry, furious. And he's walking behind me carrying his bucket. He's like, and the other coach is behind, like embarrassed, like, oh, we gotta walk out with this guy. He's carrying his bucket full of puke, and he's like trying to dump the puke into the trash can, and then he vomits again. Now the guy, since then, he's come back and he's won a few tournaments. He's won some pretty good tournaments. The guy's done great. The guy's won a few gold medals. Do we call them gold? No, he's still Buckets. Doesn't matter. 30 years from now, I'm gonna see him. That guy could be a world champ. I'll be like, oh, remember those first few times you threw up, Buckets? We have another guy named Stupid Eric, because his name is, I guess his first name is Eric, but he's stupid. So we call him Stupid Eric. And you go, hey, Stupid Eric. He's like, yeah, what's up, man? Nobody argues with their nicknames because you get the nickname you get, and you could get a worse nickname. We have this one guy, you guys know who Freddie Mercury is? Yeah, he's a singer in a band, like an old band called Queen. Well, there you go. So we named one of our guys after him. Guy stands up because he has his mustache, and the owner of the gym talking to me, he goes, what do you think, Freddie Mercury? I go, nah, dude, he's brand new, he's Queen. So he's on the mat, and then we call him Freddie Mercury, and everyone's laughing. I go, hey, listen, guys, I wanted to call him Queen. And that one's even funnier. Someone's like, let's just call him Queen. The poor guy just got to stand there and just hope that he ends up as Freddie Mercury and not Queen.
You guys know this Queen?
He got Freddie Mercury.
Oh.
I'm still going to call him Queen. Why? Because that's one of the ways that we get through things, one of the ways we cope with things. Because you know that no matter what's going on in your life, no matter what terrible stuff is going on in your life, you show up at the gym and you've got Buckets, you've got Stupid Eric, you got Freddie, Queen, whatever. You have all of these. One guy, Lili. Why Lili? I don't know. I have no idea. Some of the names I have no idea because they were there before me and they just have a name. And then there's the one guy who owns the gym. His name is Smiley. You know why his name is Smiley?
He smiles?
No, his mom named him that. That's his actual Christian name on his driver's license. The one guy without a nickname. It's like, oh, that's got to be a nickname. He pulls out his driver's license. I'm like, really? You know, he's this old veterano guy, and we're like, that was your street name, right? He's all, no, that's my real name. He's got his driver's license and everything.
Oh, poor dude.
Yeah, and the guy's like, 300 pounds from my dad. We're all, how'd you survive? How did nobody shoot you? Did you just make fun of him? Yeah. I'm gonna show him this video later too. And he's gonna laugh. So, what's so funny? Everything. You know how to look at it the right way. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques? Thank God. That was better, man. Fourth period, everyone at the end was just...
What was the drug you told us?
I'm afraid to tell you because things are better right now.